Hello everyone, myself Dinesh and my roll number is 536 and my topic is explain different types of keys available in relational model. What are keys in DBMS? Keys in DBMS is an attribute or set of attributes which helps you to identify a row tuple in a relational table. They allow you to find the relation between two tables. Keys helps you uniquely identify a row in a table by combination of one or more columns in the table. Keys Key is also helpful for finding unique record or row from the table. Database key is also helpful for finding unique record or row from the table. Example: employee ID, first name and last name. From this, we can see that in a given example, employee ID is a primary key because it uniquely identifies an employee record. In this table, no other employee can have the same employee ID. Why we need a key? Here are some reasons for using SQL key in DBMS system. Keys helps you to identify any row of data in a table. In a real world application, a table could contain thousands of records. Moreover, the records could be duplicated. Keys in RDBMS ensure that you can uniquely identify a table record despite these challenges. Allows, allows you to establish a relationship between and identify a relation between tables. Help you to enforce identity and integrity in the relationship. Types of keys in DBMS. There are mainly 8 different types of keys in DBMS, and each key has its different functionality. First one is super key and primary key, candidate key, alternate key, foreign key, compound key, composite key, and lastly surrogate key. Let's look at each of the keys in DBMS with example. Super key. A super key is a group of single or multiple keys which identifies rows in a table. Primary key is a column or group of columns in a table that uniquely identify every row in that table. Candidate key is a set of attributes that uniquely identify tuples in a table. Candidate key is a super key with no repeater attributes. Alternate key is a column or group of columns in a table that uniquely identify every row in that table. Foreign key is a column that creates a relationship between two tables. The purpose of foreign key is to maintain data integrity and allow navigation between two different instances of an entity. Compound key. Compound key has two or more attributes that allow you to uniquely recognize a specific record. It is possible that each column may not be unique by itself within the database. Composite key. Composite key is a combination of two or more columns that uniquely identify rows in a table. The combination of columns guarantees uniqueness, though individual uniqueness is not guaranteed. Surrogate key. Surrogate key is an artificial key which aims to uniquely identify each record is called a surrogate key. This kind of key are unique because they are created when you don't have a natural primary key. What is super key? A super key is a group of single or multiple keys which identifies rows in a table. A super key may have additional attributes that are not needed for unique identification. Example: EMP SSN, EMP number, EMP name. In the given example, EMP SSN and EMP num are super keys. What is a primary key? Primary key in DBMS is a column or group of columns in a table that uniquely identify every row in the table. The primary key can't be duplicate, meaning the same value can't appear more than once in a table. A table cannot have more than one primary key. Rules for defining primary key. Two rows can't have the same primary key value. It must it must for every row to have primary key value. The primary key field cannot be null. The value in a primary key column can never be modified or updated if any foreign key refers to that primary key. Example: student ID and roll number, first name, last name, and email. In this example, we can see that student ID is a primary key. Student is a primary key, and it is not been and it is not null. What is alternate key? Alternate keys is a column or group of columns in a table that uniquely identifies every row in the table. A table can have multiple choices for a primary key, but not only one can be set as a primary key. All the keys which are not primary key are called as alternate key. Example, in this table, we can see that there are five columns: student ID, roll number, first name, last name, and email. And in this table, since student ID is a primary key, roll number, email address becomes the alternative key. In this table, student ID, roll number, email are qualified to become primary key, but since student ID is primary key, roll number, email becomes the alternative key. What is candidate key? Candidate key in SQL is a set of attributes that uniquely identifiables in a table. Candidate key is a super key with no repeater attributes. The primary key should be selected from the candidate keys. Every table must have at least a single candidate key. A table can have multiple candidate keys, but not only a single primary key. Properties of candidate key. It must contain unique values. Candidate key in SQL may have multiple attributes, and it must not contain null values, and it should not contain minimum fields to ensure uniqueness, and it uniquely identify each record in a table. And candidate key example in the given table, student ID, roll number, and email are candidate keys, which helps us to uniquely identify the student record in the table. As you can see that student ID, roll number, and roll number in email are candidate key, which helps us to uniquely identify student record in the table. Can in in the above example, we can see that student ID, roll number, and email is candidate key. Student ID is primary key, and roll number and email are the alternative keys. What is foreign key? Foreign key is a column that creates a relationship between two tables. The purpose of foreign keys is to maintain data integrity and allow navigation between two different instances of an entity. It acts as a cross reference between two tables as it references the primary key of another table. Example: department code and department name, teacher ID, if, faculty name, and last name, first name and last name. In this key, in DBMS example, we have two tables: teacher teacher and department in a school. However, there is no way to see which search work is in which department. In this table, adding the foreign key in department code to the teacher name, we can create a relationship between two tables. As you can see, by adding department code between these two, we can create a foreign key between these two tables. The concept is also on referential integrity. We can see that teacher ID and department code, we have established a relationship between these two tables. What is compound key? Compound key has two or more attributes that allow you to uniquely recognize a specific record. It is possible that each column may not be unique by itself within database. However, when combined with other column or columns, the combination of compound keys become unique. The purpose of the compound key in database is to uniquely identify each record in the table. Example, in this table, order number and product ID can't be primary key as it does not uniquely identify a record. However, a compound key of order ID and product ID could be used as it uniquely identify each record. What is composite key? Composite key is a combination of two or more columns that uniquely identify rows in a table. The combination of columns is not guaranteed, hence, they are combined to uniquely identify records in a table. The difference between And the compound key is that any part of compound key can be a foreign key, but the compound key may or may not be a part of the core of the foreign key. What is surrogate key? Surrogate keys is an artificial key which aims to uniquely identify each record is called a surrogate key. This kind of partial key in DBMS is unique because it is created when you don't have any natural primary key. They do not lend any meaning to the data in the table. Surrogate key in DBMS is usually an integer. A surrogate key is a value generator right before a record is inserted into a table. And as as we can see in the given table, shift timings of different employee. In this example, a surrogate key is needed to uniquely identify each employee. So, as we can see that uh, start time and end time is different for different for the members of the working members. Surrogate keys in SQL are allowed when no property has the parameter of the primary key in the table when the primary key is too big or complicated. And that's it. Thank you, everyone.